Greetings again. The thought and point of this video that came to mind is just what this world does, what it sells, through the entertainment world, movies, music, all these things. It's just the strangest thing to me. I'm just sharing it. Not that I haven't said this before, something like it, but well, we'll catch things, you pull them out, and they're actually accurate and true of the something spiritual that's happening. It's just weird coming through like Hollywood and the world's entertainment business system. The devil's world can actually make accurate pictures like this, but then not seeing the works and understanding for self. So many of the people that make whatever they made, it's strange. I don't know what to call that. Besides, I mean, yeah, truth in plain sight, and yet the works still continue to be the same. And this is like that's the title there for a movie. And that's an example of having so many pictures that are actually true. And then like what's being sold is actually doing the sin that's inside the given movie, and seeking worldly riches and treasures. The noise, make noise, scream, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. I suppose the evil everyone can relate to because it's who and what everyone is and does. There's just so many examples of something I really see people doing, seeing self, seeing carnal man. That's true when it's shown so many times through movies too, through the devil's system. And then the music, you find someone good and you got to make a contract, and then there's competition. You got all these different details in the movie, and they're true pictures, true teaching, something spiritual thing that's going on within. It's like the devil knows something about truth, but there's no truth in him, and yet there's still some kind of acknowledgement, some kind of knows about something truth. But in one example, not this one, this movie title, in some other example, something about the devil, who and what he is, and then there's a correction being made. It says, oh no, the devil is not this monstrous thing. He's white. He's real super white, but hollow eyes, a hollow voice when he speaks, but he looks white. It's truth. It's like the enemy just throwing it in everyone's face, and then the people themselves not overcoming sin, truly seeing it. Just a strange thing to me. Strange thing. It's like proof that they can't do it, people, If they're vessel of dishonor, it's like that's what someone has to be. And then in the movie something about being sent, and then there's being sent, and then you got the devil shooting other devils, people selling their soul, for what will he give? Well, he pays good, worldly gain, teaching the destruction of the soul or like the phrase selling your soul, you give up your life for this world specifically to gain a lot from it. I mean, this is everywhere. It's not like a secret. And yet somehow it still is a mystery and a secret within people. But the actual like teaching, it's not a secret, but it's not seen nevertheless. You know, it's not seen for self. Self can't see self and actually change. And I'm seeing the evidence for it. You see these so many movies that have like little truth in plain sight, and it's like the people can't change. They won't change. You know what they're doing to some degree, running with the devil, sleeping with the devil, you know. Because Messiah, what he said is true. What profit is it to uh, forfeit, give away your soul for worldly gain, you know? Or he who gains the whole world loses his own soul, you know, where this is a reality right now. It's like a permanent spiritual destruction. You lose your soul. This is the, if you want to save it, you shall be destroying it. Teaching constantly, happening every day, the prophecy and truth. Want to gain, want to get worldly riches, destruction, and not what you're seeking. Like in this title, also, this movie title says you seek riches, but you won't receive the riches that you seek. You know, it's in confusion. It thinks something is riches, it thinks it receives it, and it never does. The person never does. It can only make you worse and worse, harder and harder, more blind, more confused to sin, do evil, sell your soul. It's just strange. It's all strange to me. People will do it anyways because they're not seeing it for self and don't have the power to overcome whatever needs to be overcome. It's got to be given from above to truly seek to do as well. And you got the examples of them being baptized, saved, right? And then a not saved, and then some devil. He's like the devil, making contracts, selling products, making lots of money. You got some other devil doing this, and he gets sad, or the so-called saved one there says, I could see why someone would like to rob banks and do this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's exciting. Then you look at the guy who's doing it, and he's all sad, frowning. I guess it's not so bad. Walks away. They don't know where he's going. Oh, he'll come back. He'll rise up again. You know, it's like a mockery almost. Um, it's just weird. Who does this? Who comes up with these things? Do they see this themselves that sell these movies, create them? Do they truly see these things themselves? Not seeing it. Not seeing it. When it comes back to reality, the world just continues to do what it always does, just lost. Come back to reality, there goes the hate, there goes the murder, there goes the stealing, all the wickedness, adulteries coming out of the heart, just keeps doing it. Regardless of what it says or watches or thinks it knows or says right words. Does it anyways, does evil anyways. They don't have to know you. If someone knows the Father, they're being sent to you to test you. It's like you see the people and they get sad, and like there's hidden sadness and anger for trying to screw with you. It's like they already know what to do. It's the strangest thing. It's a strange thing I saw today too. A couple guys at the place that tinted my car. window, the guy that did it, and another guy that I ended up paying for the job. He was on his phone the whole entire time staring at it while he asked me to pay. And there was, you would have to see it and be there. There was like some kind of friction already, some kind of resistance, anger. It's just the strangest thing. Nothing was said, never seen him before, where it's like they did something in the dark. They did something. Maybe charge me more than every other place that I got quotes from. I don't know what people are doing perfectly. I just, whatever I can see at the moment, uh, waiting till the last minute and then doing the job, and it was way later than it was supposed to be done. It's just strange. Can't put it into words, any given situation. But I started walking out, and then, but I realized it quickly. I don't have my key. So I like walk right back in, like, oh, the key in the car, the key. Then the guy finally comes out that did the job holding the key. Just, you'd have to be there. Weirdest thing. Saw a little bit of that. They want you to ask and beg them. And then they act like you don't appreciate it all or care at all when they repeat, people repeat things like, did you hear me? I don't like your response. A lifetime warranty. Did a good job. You, like, they want certain praises that's not coming their way because what they want is false. People. It's not about any one given thing. It's what's going on inside. Can't I've had this dread spiritual thing for a long time now where it's just a matter of time before, people screw you on purpose. Like, when is it going to happen next? That's basically the only thing that's left. When is it going to, when is there going to be random hatred next for no reason? If his people can see a devil pretty quickly, an enemy, what do you think the devil sees? He knows the elect, knows something about them, whoever they are. And I can only share some experience that's hard to put into words. The people will know and see because of that truth that the enemy knows something, tells them what to do. They do sin and they pay for it instantly, spiritually. And then who knows what happens for any given sin afterwards to anybody. But I can see death more clearly than ever before, not seeing it before, years ago, not seeing nearly as much, to see the instant death. Hard to explain. I can see that uh, the riches, money, businesses, whatever, it's not doing anything for people. I think only see this. You only start seeing these things that we're actually on the narrow way, wanting to do the Father's will, doing His will. It shows you what people are, what we are, and sends them to test. Like we read, I will test them. We have a lot of scriptures about this testing. He does it on purpose. Father sends the testing to make that bring that genuine, faith out. Make sure it's growing, getting purified, pure, real, not fake. Devil's fake, hollow, like I could see. They even tell you in the movies. People are obsessed with the entertainment. They're like spiritually attached to the entertainment. People cry, shed tears, and then nothing changes. It does nothing for them. It's like that guy that chased me and got out of his car all the way down chasing. Started speaking back. There's some very simple words, something about the God of this world not being my creator. And they start screaming and yelling like, no, no, no. It's like what I'm seeing and what I've seen in movies. And in this one specifically, it's like it's constantly true, tormented by truth. Don't want to hear it. Starts screaming and going, no, no, and you see the picture in this movie like that, something spiritual going on. It likes noise to drown out the torment it's in. It has to be noisy and restless. People, anybody that doesn't know the Father has to be noisy and restless inside. These things will manifest then, and they do. Start seeing it on the outside also. I just don't know. It's like the people that make these things, these movies and everything. I don't. It's just strange. No, it's truth in little bits here and there in plain sight. Um, just like what causes them to do it or make something that's so often very accurate. Actually, the pictures are accurate of whatever's going on spiritually through the darkness. Just I don't know what to call that. It's happening all the time. But the thing I'm seeing is the people themselves won't change. They can't change. They don't seem to be doing that. Just end up being like a hypocrite. The only thing mankind can be without the Father doing the works. It just people won't be able to change. Nothing is going to bring them together. It always goes back quickly to what it is. Disasters on nations, whatever, bringing together. But it never was brought together. Not for real. Quickly going back to the natural state of man. Just unable to change. And I could see the difficulty, the impossibility. Without the Father, without Him giving us truth and power, I mean, there is no chance, zero, that anybody changes. And if it's difficult now for somebody that knows the Father, if it's that difficult for them, surely those that don't know Him can't change, let alone people that do. It's already difficult enough. There seems to be some kind of outer knowledge of certain things, but there's no depth to it inside spiritual seeing, truly seeing and having the power to do whatever needs to be done. That's why I read from those who deny His power, from such turn away, because without His power we're just enemies of evil continually. It's a big deal to not believe in His power. Scripture's constantly teaching His power, miracles. It takes a miracle. That's the teaching. It takes constant miracles. Something that can't happen, man can't do it. Suppose every person has to find that out for themselves eventually, that they can't do it. So it's just like a matter of time before the next test and the next and the next and the next, before more people hate you for no reason and play games and do evil, try to get you upset all the time. All right, when's the next one? Waiting, knowing it's coming. But that won't help. when it comes, because then you know there's a next one, and it doesn't end. Doesn't end. Just keeps seems like it's just getting worse and worse. It's been my experience. Testing's more consistent, more obvious, more often. There's a weird spell going on, because when people, they think they like something or love truth or love what's good, but it's not truly there. Because when it comes, all I've ever seen is evidence that it's hated. So it's a massive trick, blinding, to be able to see something, anything, say, wow, that was really good. That was a good sermon. That was a good movie. This or that, this and that. And there's no change going on. Look at the comments on YouTube. You can watch it daily. Of course, I wouldn't ever tell someone to do that, because it's a bad idea. It's better to start getting away from reading it, which is kind of hard to do. And yet again, not so hard to do. The more understanding that comes in, the more ugly it is, the more you want to go away from it, because it's all the same. The hypocrisy, the blinding, the false accusations, the false judging, everywhere with anybody. As soon as someone opens their mouth, they're guilty of themselves, for themselves. Seems good not to talk a lot, but especially don't talk with the heart. Start maybe understanding why that scripture's there, that someone that's wise doesn't have very many words. In real life, real situations, stay pretty quiet most of the time, because people are talking about a lot of nonsense, and they're always trying to catch somebody to do something evil. So just watch for it constantly. What's not understood is that if someone's an enemy, they don't believe in this testing, understand it, nor do they see it. So it's like not true for them. And it literally isn't. It's not true for them. It's only true for those being tested for real. They'll know, they'll see about this testing. How could someone, even though things come on people, everyone, they won't see that it's judgments and testing and wages for whatever one's done? It's resisting that. It's resisting that they're getting wages for what they do with their heart, as the primary, only important thing by itself. That's the only important thing by itself. Because if that's done, I mean, that is the real thing. Not really nothing, not much to worry about. Something that's much lower. The natural man could already muster up that natural thing, surely, if he's keeping spiritual law. There is no problem with something that's natural and simple and easy in comparison. Not easy, because the spiritual thing is impossible. Not easier, although you could say it's easier, but to compare it to impossible, that word doesn't seem right. Easier won't prove anything. It's so easy for people to do it too. They don't realize how much they're doing. Realize it all. The true darkness. It ends up coming back to the same thing, over and over again. It's not about whatever's going on. It's about what why someone's doing something and what are they doing for real. So you could talk about anything. You could talk about cars, work people do, anything. They find ways to try to screw with someone, but they'll like be directed to do it, to his people especially though, specifically, even if they never seen you before. You see people doing something as if they know. It's the strangest thing. As if they know you, like as an enemy. It's like perceived somehow, but not understood, and only perceived in a sort of dark haze. The devil knows. The enemy knows. It's the only reason why I can see random people that you've never even met, seen before, would also know something. Otherwise, they shouldn't know. Do what they do when they do it. Doesn't make any sense if that wasn't so. They're sent. Just like I read, Messiah sends prophets, people, and they kill them. And then he sends more to prove they're evil. But he's also sending the evil to his people. He needs to prove that they're doing something righteous, Father's works. They're both getting sent things. One realizes it and one doesn't realize anything. It's in a perpetual state of failing when evil comes their way. So then, without this testing, no one's getting refined. It needs to be sent on purpose, with intention to send. And it is. He sends people. Somehow, some way, it's being done. Testing situations, whatever, anything. It's for the purpose of further denial of self, because at some point his people will get trapped and they can see the two ways pretty clearly, left or right. And they already know if they try to do it themselves with a stubborn head, start retaliating, attacking, doing evil back, it's game over for them. They got something coming, like starting to, be aware of it more and more, acknowledging it, what the world cannot acknowledge. It's doing everything a different way. Creator won't allow it to work. Looking good all the time. That's what people do, look good. The devil looks good. He's white, like I heard in movies. The devil's not a monster. Doesn't look like a monster. He's white, pure, spotless, and blameless on the outside, with no truth in the inside, pure darkness. So that's what a man is. Utter darkness that makes himself look good all the time. On their part, blasphemy towards the Creator. On the saints' part, glorifying the Creator. One work producing two different things at the same time, depending on the person, depending if they're his people or not. This thing here will send blasphemy from their heart and mind to the Creator, and that same thing will glorify the Creator for the suffering, for doing good, you know. There's only two ways, two things produce two different things: dead bad works or good works, alive, you know, blasphemy or no blasphemy, but the opposite of blasphemy, of glory. Because anyone can say something about the fiery trials that are strange. Don't think it's strange. But if they're not living it, they don't have a clue what it means and can't truly believe it either about self. Because what someone doesn't experience isn't true for them, no matter how much they talk. Never be true for them as long as they're in continued state of unbelief or rebellion. Like this thing is real, you know. It's like that's what I'm seeing so many talk. This is real, you know. But it's like a joke to people. Everything is a joke to the devil, like a clown, like an immature child and clown that likes to joke a lot, laugh a lot, really shameful jokes, embarrassing for self, should be, but it's not for them. Um, through all kinds of different things, and people like that, you know, that sells. Truth don't sell. Can't be bought, it can't be sold. Nobody will even want to buy it if they could. If they saw the two things, they would buy the devil's way every single time without fail. If they had a clue what this other thing requires, only confirming more that they would only choose this other way. It's not a choice. Nothing else can be done. That's the actual truth. It's stuck. You know, everyone's stuck in slavery until the Father gets them out, starts getting them out. They wouldn't be able to escape chains, bondage. Someday, the sons of Elohim will be manifested, and then for the purpose of, like I plainly read, to bring the whole creation into the liberty of the sons of Elohim, the Creator. And they despise this and don't believe it. Uh, the many. They're desperately trying to give different meaning to anything that's true, constantly. It's not just one thing, it's everything. It's only a matter of being seen and spotted the real spiritual meaning or truth of any given thing. Compared to that, it's always trying to put a different definition to cover it up and bury it constantly without stop. Because our creator's not a 50-50 monster mutation. It's either that or the other thing. That's it. It's either doing that constantly or it's not, with the mind and heart. The devil likes feel good stuff, crying, goosebumps, feel good, music. Like they say, you know, the devil likes a good tune, right? It makes it massively sick and deceptive. Makes it sound and make people look like they're a certain image, certain something, when they sing and do these things, make wonderful music in somebody's mind. It's wonderful. Why is it being done? For money, because it sold itself for it. So no matter what it says, even if there's some true words, it don't matter because it's living the lie continually. And it will be a hypocrite if it says anything anyways. Um, Sounding the trumpet, sounding the alarm. They're learning not to do that for anything that's good. Keep it to self, right? Instead of sounding a trumpet, in this case, keep it to self. That's the goal. That's the only true way. Not to let everyone know how good you are, because only an enemy could actually do that. If someone's doing that, they're doing it for a reason. Knowing at all times that someone is pressured, tempted to do the wrong thing constantly and evil continually. So that's why someone can't change without the Father in them doing the work, because they're way too weak, can't do it. Deceitful heart and tempted by an enemy and self and lust. Now they show a lot of that destruction for certain things, lust and love of money. And they still do it anyways. What's that movie making? Millions of dollars. Some nuggets in there that have actual truth. Yeah, but what of it? Out of all the people that are connected to any given movie, how many of them are actually living his way for real? How many? Could there even be one in a situation like that? Is it even possible to have one in there also, where they're receiving their worldly gain for doing what they do, making contracts, No, there can't be even one. They would have to come out of that eventually if there was. That's the only way. Come out of her, my people. To stay inside is only evidence continually that someone's the same. At the very least, it needs to come out. It's like saying you could be of truth in Egypt the whole time. No, you can't. You have to get out of Egypt for real. As long as it's in there, it's 100% proof and evidence that there's still an enemy of Egypt. The world hates the Creator. So when people see you coming out, here come the floodgates of evil works. How do they see? Well, not. It's something deep inside is perceived. It's something's wrong. It's like the foul spirits are getting bothered a lot, tormented, seeing something, seeing something. Watch people get blind, scream and yell and lose their mind in an instant, all of a sudden, for nothing, for doing nothing to them, you know. Women, that happens often. One example, but or you'd show up just like everyone else and they treat you way different, massively different. Hear it in their voice, you see their spirit, it's nasty, it's angry, it's evil. And then the next person that orders something standing there, all of a sudden it's a smooth voice. How you doing? Yeah, no problem. But that's not what I experienced a minute ago. How come? And what did they do that was good to that person? Nothing. What evil was done to that person? Nothing. It's just one devil acknowledging another. That's why it could do that. It can't do that to light. Not even possible. That's what I'm finding out. Becoming more and more true. It's literally not possible. No despise. Not being despised more and more. Well, then enemy. Then an enemy. Because it has to be like that. Darkness can't get along with light, they can't be one. It's being separated constantly. The people, as a result of this spiritual thing going inside, will separate from you with hatred, murder, and you separate from them because the two can't be one, and without hatred and murder, that's how that's supposed to be. Both looking like the same thing. One is full of murder and wrath and the other not. One light, one darkness. Seeing it separation as necessary, where darkness sees as evil and offensive. How dare you step away from prison and betray me? It's not them that do that. It's Judas that betrays Messiah, not the other way around. So then what they see and think they see is betrayal, because that's all someone is themselves to the Creator and Messiah and all his truth. So they put what they understand on someone else, they put it on there because they don't understand it. So they have to say betray, betray, evil, evil, they have to. There's the real way and truth, and there's the false way, the look-alike, the real battle and struggle, saying, oh, sometimes wish I wasn't here, and then the fakes that say those words to make them sound and look good, and that's it. I'm ready to disappear, and they don't receive any tribulation for doing good works because they're still enemies. They only say that with some other false intention. That's what the many are doing. And deep down inside, they don't want that anyways. They want to hold on to this world because a carnal man can't do anything else except love and hold on to this world. So when it speaks like that, it's a laughable lie. A little bit of pressure, a little testing, a little proving. It also doesn't want what it says so often. No, it doesn't. It quite enjoys its soul and life and worldly things and gain and all the evil this world does that they are one with. It enjoys that. Doesn't want that to go away at any point. Never. The more the better. The longer the more. The more merrier. But tricked by the devil, you shall not surely die for doing all these things. And they do. They don't think they do. And they are anyways. The wide gate's like the ultimate foolish path because they're being destroyed anyway. It's not going through the wide gate to save the soul and not lose and destroy all these things that it loves, because that's the true way. This needs to start going away and being destroyed. So then it goes through the wide gate and saves its soul, and gets destroyed anyways, continually, until it's finally destroyed at the end. It never escaped. What it did do in a delusion is hold on to worldly things. That's what it's holding on to, but it can't see the truth or big picture or anything at all. That it's just delaying, not really delaying, but the inevitable. That they also will be caught eventually, brought into judgment, exposed. From death to death instead of from life to life. If there's life to life and glory to glory, well, then there's death to death also. It's always two things only. Their end is destruction. Anybody that doesn't overcome sin, then the works of the devil specifically, which is sin, the evil works in the mind and heart that's being done, will be exposed utterly. Every secret thing, because that's where the sin is, secret, in a dark place. Harlot, a woman, hides the leaven, false doctrine and lie inside people, puts it in an oven, and it grows and gets baked with heat until it's fully corrupt. The evil works are done through deceptive means and ways, always. Never out in the open. What someone really has for an intention is never out in the open, ever. Don't tell anyone. That's why they use that hush symbol out there so often in Hollywood. Shh, we're devils. That's what the Father's shown me. They know what they're doing. They know they do evil, but they can't stop anyway. They end up believing a lie and a delusion and cannot escape and get out of it because of the Father's judgments that are consistent and true, never wrong, never changing. No turning of the shadow or whatever I read there, never changing. He doesn't change. It will have been an utterly dumb thing, won't it? Well, yeah, it will. Especially if that judgment to come is pretty sour. They didn't. No one escaped anything then. Well, that judgment is already sour right now. Going through it now. Uh, it's not like a random thing happening to people, to his people specifically, where they just bounce off of something and it was a coincidence. It's sent on purpose. Being careful of sounding the trumpet, seeing this a little clearer because it's never supposed to be sounded, but doing good works, but exposing evil, that could be done the right way. Possible. Not without, not with self only, but it's possible. In Messiah, you can do all things, but not self. You can't do anything. It's a pretty big teaching, pretty bold, pretty serious, pretty clear cut. Self can't do anything. What is it exactly? that this world thinks that self can't do. It doesn't even meditate on that, let alone understand it. Never crossed its mind. Someone would have to see what it can't do in order to believe that. It makes sense. Start seeing what that really is that man can't do, to start believing that self can't do anything. Otherwise, what can't it do? What is it then? What's the answer? That man cannot do good works, really. That's what it is. But what is the answer then? It can't build an engine. It can't stop raping someone, murdering, stealing, literally, can't ever do that. No, that's not it. Can't stop spiritual sin. The real evil inside people, everyone, that is the real evil. How is it the world can't see that? Must be a powerful judgment for it not to see this. How is it that it literally cares about what it looks like? And that's what matters at the end of the day. What it does on the outside covers itself with giving away lots of stuff and telling people about it. It can't see that that's corrupt, can't see the inside. I'm saying someone doesn't even have to speak, and evil could be sent your way, and they do evil to you, people, and you don't even say anything. Why would this be done? Why would someone do that? Well, from the natural man's understanding, he would never do that. There must be a reason and a cause, because they don't want to believe the actual truth, that the truth is happening. So there must be a reason and a cause. That's why they won't believe. Any believer becomes stupid to tell them that. Becomes dumb, becomes like a sin to tell someone that's an enemy. They won't believe you anyway. They can't. Why would someone do that? Well, it gets them thinking about something real, and they don't want to do that. It's torment. It's reminding them of their destruction. So it needs to be noisy and scream and say la 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 la, like you could see in the movies. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. La 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 la. Amazing how often people do that. Even like literally, but it's going on inside. The la 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 is going on inside. I know it. See it. It's like an instant reaction with hatred. Why? It's like it knows something. How could it actually know if it's blind? It's the strangest thing. It's the devil and foul spirits. They know, and they're in people. It's like you learn what evil is by the evil works that go through people. So then you say, I just saw the devil. Looked at him right in the eyes. That's who he is. This would be pretty offensive to anybody, but that's what I'm saying. Or look in the mirror, just saw the devil. He knows, man. He knows something. The enemy knows. Like, we see that he knows through the people. That's what I'm saying. People, random people, anybody. Like their father tells them, warning, warning, enemy, enemy, and then they do evil. Whatever the father tells them to do evil to this person. But that's actually the creator giving a test. But the devil's doing something different for some other reason. It's a giant delusion everywhere in darkness, a lot of confusion. So then I find that out in people, that what they think they're doing something for is actually accomplishing what the creator really wants, and has nothing to do with what the creator wants done and what he's thinking. They'll have some other twisted false reason for doing this or that to somebody, or doing this or that over here. And that's the lie and delusion to fulfill what really needs to be done. When nations go to war with each other, they all have their so-called understanding and reasons, and none of them are correct. Zero. Because there's certain judgments that need to be done for evil that's done. But those thoughts that someone believes comes from their great understanding, they believe in that for real. This is the reason. This is why we say, why we're doing this or that. They don't have a clue. Of course, they would never want to teach anybody this in the world. It's always, your country's the best. You're free. You're the best. No, they're never going to give truth. Nothing but the truth, and be honest and open like that. Somehow you could see it sprinkled out through the entertainment industry, though. That's the weird thing. It's like the devil's so prideful, he can't help to reveal who and what he is. Like, yeah, we're proud of sin. We're proud of seeing something about this and doing it anyways, and then putting it in people's faces. It's like a mockery constantly. You could read it in scripture many times. The wicked enjoy doing wickedness. They look forward to and want to do it, even though it causes them destruction and blinding. There's a reward or a wage for doing evil, and they chase the reward of Balaam. The craziest thing. Why would someone do that? Why would they chase the reward, and that reward is actually destruction with this false god? They love to seek the reward of evil and destruction back on them. It's got to be blind to want that. And if the destruction's heavy enough, it will harm itself and end it. Just like Judas. It always was doing that, always wanted to do that, and it finally got to the point where it was too severe, and it finished it. They try to hide this pretty good, I think, in this world, Hollywood, what it does to people. They try to hide that constantly. They're always selling an image of a great life that never existed ever, and that doesn't exist now. If you dump someone $10 million right now, they will likely commit suicide or end up with something worse than suicide, with losing everything and being a bum, and then ending up in prison for robbing or something. It's going to be one of those two paths, People still believe in it. People still think that's the way. Well, it seems right in their eyes. Let them have it, I guess. Can't stop it. Don't worry about the false prophets in the church world. No one has a clue what they're going through. Their sheep don't truly see it. The divided flocks, like I read in scripture, that the false prophets do, cause division of the flock. Can't see what's really going on. They're like sent by the devil to destroy people and deceive them, and they do. Somewhere deep down inside, the devil in them knows that's true. If you were to ever reveal it, what's really going on behind these false ministers in these church world places, You touch something that's actually true for real inside with intention, the intention it's doing for things, that's when it loses its mind because it got caught. Just like a kid got caught in the and catching, taking candy out of the jar, and it gets angry because it got caught. It's never repenting for the sin it did. It's just angry that it got caught. Therefore, it wants revenge. How dare you catch me in my nakedness? We're not supposed to do that on purpose, like with intention to expose someone like that. That would be the same intention that the enemy does this thing to try to make someone look evil and expose them as evil, and then get joy out of it. Or they think they they like it. We're not supposed to do that with that purpose and intention. But I'm saying when they get caught, this is what happens anyways, though. What do they want? What do people want from his people? Just leave them alone, but it won't happen, so don't pray for it. The leaving alone part will never happen, so don't pray for it. But I'm just speaking from a simple, truthful, logical, like just leave him alone. Why do you want to destroy him so bad? My goodness. They creep in unnoticed, like I read, so that they can take people down with them because they're in misery and destruction themselves. The world can say misery loves company, and the vast majority of that ever heard and said that are not living what that means. Doing that daily, it's the very thing that can't be seen, which is self spiritual wickedness, inside. That's what the Father shows and reveals, tests them, manifests, proves them that they are just like they are, that they themselves are beasts. These people start finding that out about self, something the world never believed at any point about self. And then, well, this would cause a bunch of other things we read too. Be pretty dumb and prideful to think highly of self when it's figuring out it is a beast and no good. They can't do that. And the Creator mocks the blind world. Who can calculate the number of the beast? What is this thing? Who is it? What is it? When is it coming? It's a riddle. It's a spiritual riddle, and it's simple. And he mocks them because of how simple it is and how blind they are. That's his power compared to people. He could give you the whole entire book that could be read by people, and it still doesn't have understanding, and it's doing what's right anyway. Bring him up in the schools and get them to study, the Bible. And it still doesn't know or care or see. Truth is always offensive at all times. Messiah learning from the Creator, of whom the Pharisees can't see, abomination. Kill him. It's not doing it our way. Must be an enemy. Exposing us. Darkness, exposing. Kill it. It's an enemy. To expose someone is wickedness, from their eyes, in their sight. To expose evil is wicked. So it's more and more disgusting as the days go by when there's things that the world says about doing good and doing this or that, and it's spreading all over the world, and they're doing such good, marvelous things. In the meantime, everything's in destruction like it always has been. Murders going on left and right. Raping's going on left and right. Lies are going on left and right. That's why it won't know. That's why it's going to be shocked as a whole. You know, it's going to be caught where Messiah is a thief to someone who's actually a thief. He becomes that to them. That's the Father's judgment.